lovely, lovely imps. Today, we are going to be doing a bit of a reaction and conversation about let's call it an expose. Some people have called it a hit piece, and I think it's a little bit fair to call it a hit piece. No, actually, I do think it's fair to call it a hit piece. It is a hit piece. However, some hit pieces are built off of viable foundations, and we're going to talk about this after we watch this video in whole. This is a video about a YouTuber by the name of MrGirl. MrGirl is sort of a rising figure in online politics, particularly among liberals, it seems. He's very, very popular among liberals online in the streaming space. And for a long time, I was sort of under the impression that MrGirl was sort of like an edgy performance artist who I just found relatively distasteful. As it turns out, I don't really find just flat-faced jokes about pedophilia and rape to be funny, but that's his thing. He does like comedy skits about stuff like that, and he also, though, appears on all kinds of political panels and puts forward what seem to be genuinely held political opinions, many of which I think are genuinely dangerous and unhealthy. And so anyway, MrGirl has been in this space for a while, and today we're going to be reacting to this expose of him, and we're going to be talking about it. One of the things I want everybody to sort of be thinking about as we're watching this is the level to which it's just a joke, or I'm just being edgy, or I'm just asking tough questions. The degree to which that is actually a meaningful excuse. I think there are some situations where, hey, we were just pushing your buttons, we were just being edgy, is a perfectly valid excuse. But I don't really know if that holds up with somebody with as long of a history and as focused of an agenda as MrGirl. MrGirl tends to fixate on talking about attraction to minors, having sex with minors, and rape. These are issues that he repeatedly talks about and repeatedly goes on large public platforms to talk about. And we're going to see some of those clips and some of his formerly recorded content in this video. I just want to make sure that everyone who's coming to watch this video right now and in the future, please be aware that there are going to be quite a number of content warnings that I'll be putting out for this video right now. First of all, rape, molestation, graphic depictions of abuse, and also discussions of child sexual assault. Sorry, it's just what the video's about. If you can't handle that, sorry. That's why I do the content warning. I always do content warnings on segments like this. Just keep, oh yes, and bestiality. I forgot about that. I forgot about that segment. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So just be aware that there is a bunch of this in this segment. I'll be keeping the CW up. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I hope you find it productive. Like, subscribe, etc. The normal thing that you do. And without any further ado, let us watch the YouTube creator Old Man Landre's video, which is titled right here. Here, let me put this up on the screen. This is titled MrGirl's Disturbing Iceberg Documentary. Now, of course, the video itself starts with a warning, and let's begin.
The following video exploring the deep depravity of Max Carson, also known as MrGirl, contains extremely disturbing footage and imagery, including depictions of domestic abuse, sexual assault, exploitation of minors, bestiality, and more. The producer of this video does not endorse any of the views expressed or actions taken by Mr. Carson.
If you know anything about Max Carson, also known as MrGirl, it's probably the common belief that he's a pedophile, or at least to this point, what some people may call a NOMAP, which is an acronym for non-offending minor attracted person. In other words, a pedophile who hasn't yet been caught acting on their pedophilic predilections.
Now, immediately, I have some critiques. The spooky editing and the opening statement, this like sort of quippy opening statement about the no map thing, doesn't help the overall video. And there's a couple of reasons for it. First of all, the idea of like hasn't been caught yet. I think that discredits exposés, because you're literally accusing someone of something that you don't even have evidence of. You don't even have evidence that it's ever even occurred. It's not like it occurred, but there's no evidence. You don't even know if it's occurred. I just think that's careless. Also, the spooky editing makes this seem very biased. And yes, it is very biased. This video is clearly designed to expose aspects of MrGirl, but the music and the spookiness kind of detracts from it, in my personal opinion. And that's something that I'm going to probably bring up a couple times, because the music gets a little bit, music's going to get a little heavy, but let's go.
Unlike a lot of other videos looking at Max, that is not where this video is going to start. And that's because Max's favorite defense as of late to being labeled as a pedophile is that there's a difference between thoughts, fantasies, and actions. And because, while he speaks openly about his extremely disturbing thoughts and fantasies, there isn't any evidence yet that he would act on his most horrifying thoughts and fantasies. But as you will see, that's not true.
Now, this part right here is an argument, but the first part sort of undermines this argument, because you're right. If someone claims to not act on something, but their behavior shows otherwise, that is a valid point. But you opened this by saying, like, oh, well, he's guilty. We just haven't found out yet. So there's my feedback right away. A little bit of a weak opener that I think detracts from the overall message. However, again, I have the luxury of having pre-watched this. I usually don't pre-watch videos, very rarely pre-watch videos, but I have in this case. And I think that though this is a weak start, in my personal opinion, that the video holds up. And you'll see. Let's go.
This entire video is very disturbing, but perhaps most disturbing of all is where we're going to start, which is not in Max's past or his theoretical future, but in the present moment, where Max has proudly broadcasted for the world to see his horrifying and relentless abuse of his current girlfriend, Shaylin. And as disturbing as the next hour will be, I hope that you will sit through it, because the only way we can root out evil in our society is by facing it and witnessing it as it unfolds.
I just don't have any money.
You don't have $100?
I won't have it if you want me to pay rent to you.
You have exactly enough money to pay rent, but not $100 more.
I don't have enough money to pay rent yet. I'm waiting on.
You're not.
Yes. The music is too much. Honestly, if I were to advise Old Man Landre anything, this music needs to be basically gone. It becomes harder to hear their voices, and yeah, the audio is way too loud.
Answering my question.
But again, I am very open that I think that the music was a bad choice. I think the like real crime thing is a bad choice, and we're going to discuss why I still think a lot of the video stands on its own, even though I'm going to warn you, and I'm going to be honest about this, I almost stopped watching because the music was distracting, but I didn't. And there's a reason why I didn't, so let's keep watching.
Yes, I don't.
You will have exactly the right amount, but not $100 more.
I don't know, man.
You know what? They're not here. Let's just take a look. Normally I would never violate someone's privacy like this, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I will fucking do whatever I have to survive. And I looked in her room.
Be so do. If you have a link to that, please link me that. I would very much like to have a link to that. Bezodu or anybody else who can see Bezodu's comment there, if you have a link to that evidence, I would very much like to review that. Please let me see that.
And oh my god, this is how fucking explorers must feel when they find treasure.
Oh, I think it's the...
So, for those who are unclear, that was blurred that was blurred for privacy because that was video evidence of Mr. Girl entering his partner's room against her will while she wasn't home to search for her money so that he could take it, which he recorded himself doing and posted to his vlog. Just so we know.
If I don't need to use the mic, I can use the other kind, right?
You're not responding to
I just don't think to use these. I don't know. You are often using them.
No, they did not share a room, as far as I can tell.
What
At that
thing
point, at
do you
least.
feel I'm not responding to?
Nothing. The reason I'm talking, you're
Thank
not
you.
responding to me. You're not responding to the fucking point of what I'm saying.
Which is what?
Okay. Are you aware that I'm very angry at you, generally? And are you aware that it's your fucking arrogance and refusal to admit when you're struggling, bad at something, ask a question, or you don't know something that is, at least from my point of view,
Small correction from Old Man Landre. It appears that that was actually the other roommate's room. So that doesn't make it any better, but it turns out that may have been another roommate's room that he filmed himself searching for money. Regardless, somebody's room, somebody that he lived with, I don't know the names of all the people he lived with because, obviously, he talks about it in that clip. It's a little hard to see because it gets blurred. And one thing I will say is the blurring was a good touch. Blurring, that sort of thing, is genuinely a good touch.
Creating a rift between us.
Yes, I do know that.
So you already know that.
Yes.
And you aren't sure why I would bring up your stubbornness and arrogance right now. You think I'm just asking you about headphones and Bluetooth?
Another thing I would say, Old Man Landre, next time, if you want to put this Chiron on, put the Chiron outside of the video. Put it down here. Because this looks like Mr. Girl put it in his video, but he didn't. This is just, let's just say an industry tip. You never want to add anything to the video that you're showing. Even if it's something like this, which I do not think is a bad thing. I think having a domestic violence hotline up on this is quite responsible. But I think it would be better to move it out of here just for clarity. I know you probably didn't mean that to be like bad, but just so you know, general rule, like, I don't want to say journalistic tip, but a general rule is if you're showing footage that's supposed to be revelatory, you don't want to add anything to it unless it's blurring. But yeah, I understand. I recognize that, again, I'm giving you charitability because I know you're not a journalist, so, but just things for the future to keep in mind. I told you I was going to be critical. I feel it's important for me to be critical on videos like this, so.
No, I can see why you're bringing it up, but I feel like you're inserting it into a conversation and without really knowing whether or not that's true, and I'm trying to answer
it. It doesn't matter if it's true. You don't know if it's true. You don't know why you've never used those headphones.
Yes.
So you can't say that it's true or not true. It's just something to discuss. It's an idea. It's a lens through which to view the conversation or view the conflict or view the interaction or whatever. But you refuse to look through that lens. And that's why I can't fucking stand you. Because I present a lens and you're like, well, I think if I look through that, I'll see something uncomfortable. I don't want to have to see what you're seeing, so I just won't. Even when I'm telling you, you're not thinking about it from my point of view and you're not listening to me. You still don't give a fuck.
So, this is a video of somebody gaslighting another person. That's what we have on our hands here. This is a video, a vlog, of a guy shouting at his girlfriend that the truth doesn't matter because she doesn't know it anyway. That is very open, very obvious gaslighting. Relationship gaslighting, the real definition of gaslighting.
You're just miserable?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it makes me enraged. when I'm trying to do work to help you with your channel, and I feel like you and Jimmy are annoying and bossy, and then you are acting like it's inconvenient for me to ask you for help to pair them.
No, it's not inconvenient for me. It's inconvenient for you because you're fucking arrogant. I like showing you shit. I like showing you how to use shit. I like sharing my stuff with you.
I mean, you can say that, but what you actually said made it seem like it was inconveniencing you and that...
There she goes. They're leaving.
I know.
What do you mean, what's going on?
I'm frustrated that we're like fighting and then you keep switching back and forth about whether or not you're filming.
Oh, she's coming back in. She's coming back in. Filming or fighting? I'm doing both.
I can see that.
Right there this is the point where I realized I was going to watch the rest of this video all the way through. Even though I fucking can't stand the music. This person explicitly says on video, I don't know if you're filming or fighting anymore. I don't know what's show and what's reality. And this doesn't stop him from filming. In fact, he goes back and continues the fight while filming. And by the way, this happens multiple times. And again, this is part of the reason why I was willing to watch this entire video, despite some of the editing decisions that I strongly disagreed with. And that's because the more that I watched, the more that I saw that there is no plausible deniability here. MrGirl's partner, through multiple of these videos, expresses unsurety as to whether they're being filmed, as to whether this is real or performance. Essentially, MrGirl was under the purview of a vlog abusing somebody for entertainment. And there's basically no way around that. Even if we were to find out that it was staged, it was not presented as fiction at all. So we're gonna see some more. Let's keep going.
Your question is going to be stupid.
How do you know? I haven't said it.
Because you don't have a fucking question about this. Just express your fucking feelings. Why don't you err on the side of caution? Why don't you think, well, since I'm probably feeling emotional about this, I'll fucking talk about that first, like we just fucking agreed.
Fine, I can talk about that first.
What do you think is more important? That you express your feelings and stop injecting them into your fucking retarded questions? Or that you have a mild intellectual curiosity that needs to be satisfied? I told you I'm going to go film at the testing center, and your first question is if I'm trying to get tested for coronavirus. That's a stupid fucking question, and should tell you that what you need to do is talk about your feelings. Not ask more dumb fucking shit. Would you like to fucking talk about that?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Let's...
Music sucks, I know. Everybody, can we get like a little command that says, yes, the music was a bad decision. The music was bad choice, but let's move past that, okay? The music is not a good choice. It's very poorly mixed. I know. We got it, all right? Let's focus. The music makes it seem staged, yes. That's the problem. But we're gonna talk about that, and yes, we get it, the music sucks, okay? No. Landre, old man Landre, I love you, but you gotta own it. The music was a bad choice. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It just is. You gotta admit it. You just gotta own it and take it. Everybody is agreeing with me on this one. I'm sorry. It's too much. You can't hear anything. All right, good. Just own it.
Do you think we should have a conversation about that?
Yes, Max.
You're being fucking awful to me.
I don't think that wearing a pair of shoes that's easy to put on is being awful to you.
You're a fucking idiot.
Okay.
That's not the part I'm talking about, you fucking moron.
And what part are you talking about?
Fuck you.
The denial?
The being a fucking asshole part. The part where you are being a mean bitch.
Hi, where would you like me to put your item?
Just leave him there.
Leave them here?
Yeah.
Okay, and the last 4 numbers on your card?
I think
It says card.
I left the card over there if you want to look at it. I think it's $10 for you.
No, we don't take tips here. Thank you, though.
Liz. Liz,
Yes, sir.
you have to take it.
I am not taking it.
Was I being mean the whole time or just since we got in the car?
I think you were being unkind and callous at first, especially given how much we've talked about how you are going to step up and stop acting like a fucking teenager.
I don't think you understand why my reaction to it is not just, oh, yes, of
You're
course.
a fucking defensive bitch.
No,
I do understand.
I mean, sort of, but that's not why.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
Yes, it is. I understand that you have some other fucking retarded argument you want to make that has nothing to do with that. That's not why I'm screaming at you, you fucking asshole. That's not why I'm calling you a mean bitch. That's not why I'm saying you're being passive-aggressive like you always are. I'm saying that because you're being passive-aggressive like you always are. There's nothing you can say about your fucking boots that's gonna make me not feel that.
Right, I'm just trying to explain my point of view, but I can see that
I
it's
don't
not
fucking
helping.
care.
Yes.
I'm not once again, I'm not angry about your point of view. What I'm angry about is that you don't fucking care about my feelings and that you are mean. And then when I call you out on it, you're like, yeah, you're right. I'm a stupid, worthless fucking moron. You're absolutely right, sweetie. Which is also patronizing and fucking annoying. Is that honestly what's in your fucking head? An endless parade of stammering, yeah. No. I see it. As soon as you think, oh God, the thing that Max thinks about the website is different from what I think.
It's not
Pick
fucking
up.
retarded.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Whatever you're about to blame on me for your passive aggressiveness and your constant conflict avoidance, your constant desire to just be like, I'm not sure. No. You're a fucking coward.
Good, Vermin.
I don't know if you're actually...
Vermin says, fuck, I'm so glad I don't put up with anyone being mean to me anymore. My partner is so loving and sweet, I will never go back to this dog shit. You shouldn't. If you are in a relationship that feels familiar to this, you get the fuck out. You have every single right. There, not only should you know that you have every single right to not tolerate this shit, but also know that there are literally millions of people out there in the world who will treat you so much better. You do not ever have to tolerate this type of behavior. I just feel like I should say.
gaslighting me, but telling me that I'm stupid and then me second guessing whether or not that's true.
I don't know. What do you mean by what's your definition of gaslighting?
You telling me that I'm insane for thinking something and then me questioning whether or not my experience is...
Well, you react to everything by questioning your experience to try to frantically align yourself with whatever anybody's telling you. So it's
Right.
kind of impossible to not gaslight you. Gaslighting is when a woman questions herself. God fucking forbid. Gaslighting is when a woman questions herself and then can't come up with a fucking answer. And then she lets someone else answer for her and then doesn't take responsibility for that.
That's not true, you
And
just
then
hate
blames
women.
No.
So are you seeing why I'm saying that I'm willing to look past the music in this particular case? Do you guys understand why I'm saying that while, like, the editing decisions, I'm willing to look past them? Because what the substance that's actually here is pretty fucking serious. Yeah?
I also hate women, but that's not what we're talking about. When a woman blames a man
No,
for
you constantly tell me that I'm gaslighting you, so that's just false.
The video fucking horrifies me. I hate it.
I think just watching the video makes me just feel like everything is a horrible disaster and like I'm a huge failure and I just like hate it and it just makes me feel completely miserable. And my immediate reaction to it is like, this is bad, this is hurting you, this is hurting me. I can come up with reasons why it's hurting you.
The video or a relationship?
The video.
Okay. And that we should what?
Stop.
Filming?
Yes. I want to cut myself out of the project entirely so that I don't.
This is what I was talking about. There are multiple recorded conversations of MrGirl's partner here attempting to leave the project, and not just, and again, you're gonna see this become a recurring issue of her saying like, I don't know what's the project. I don't know when we're filming. I don't want to be filmed anymore. It's making me feel horrible. Like right here is a very honest, like, I don't like this. This is bothering me. This is ruining my life.
Don't have to deal with the pain of reliving it and like watching it and reading the comments. So I don't know. So I just have like a really bad reaction to it and like want to stop production. But then I also freak out because I don't know. Like, one of our problems that we've also established with me is that I have like no idea how to set any boundaries about it. So like I feel very conflicted about the idea of actually trying to figure out where the line is for us.
Hint, if somebody tells you I am struggling to set boundaries with that in and of itself is a boundary, okay? If somebody tells you, hey, this project, I feel like I don't know how to put boundaries around this project, that means you cut the fucking project. That means you fucking stop it. You don't keep going. You stop. Especially if it's a project that involves exposing personal life to the fucking internet. That is a boundary in and of itself. If somebody is saying, I feel like I can't set boundaries, I don't know where to set these boundaries, I don't want to be involved in this, and then the answer is, no, you have to be, that's not okay.
Filming stuff. Whenever we're talking about something and then I am having a reaction to it that you feel is horrible, I'm having like I feel like what's happening is that I'm having like a trigger response and I'm like, either my brain is like flooding and I just can't think straight because I'm having too much anxiety.
Holy shit.
Or I'm like, I just feel like my stutter is like a fucking PTSD thing and you're just making fun of me and it's fucking horrible. It's like, no, I'm not like trying to stutter just to piss you off. Like, fuck you. It's horrifying to me that you are making fun of my like PTSD response to what you're saying, and then you're like fucking like later watching the footage of yourself like berating me over my fucking like trigger response, and you're just like laughing and you're just like, nah, and then like in the fucking comments people are like, Shaylin's a psycho, why would she put up with this? And it's like, well, I don't know why, it's fucking horrible.
So this here is a citation for later this year, a harassment threat call that was made to the Oregon police. This is a record of the event type called on 911. Yep, on 9/11/2020. So this is the record of this, just so you know. So we can this is it's a welfare check. There you go. Welfare check on 4/26/2022. So that was this year. This was from this year. So there's 2 records already of police going to the house for harassment and welfare check calls. Okay? What we can now see so far, and we are only 14 minutes into the video, is multiple videos of one of the people explicitly stating multiple times on video that they are not comfortable being filmed, that they feel like they're being abused on film, that they feel like they're being abused into being on film. That's what we've seen from all of these clips, okay? This is the reason, again, why I wanted to watch this and why I think this goes beyond any sort of drama or anything like that. That means a neighbor or friend called the cops, most likely, yes. Now, obviously, there could be another reason for this. We're not 100% sure, but given that this is all circumstantial and that's all that we can really operate off, and this is not a court of law, this is just us determining whether or not Mr. Girl is somebody who we should allow to move around in these spaces. Is she still with him? That would be a question for Old Man Landre. Do you happen to know if they're still together? I'll wait and see if we can get a response on that. I don't know. Maybe we don't know. Maybe we don't have an answer. 99. Okay, you're 99% sure that they still are. Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous and stupid and like, it's horrible for me because like I already feel bad about it. Like, why would you fucking do that? I mean, I know why because you've explained it to me, but it's fucking horrible.
What are we talking about right now?
The report for the welfare check was from the 26th, just a few days ago. So yeah, this latest police report was from just a few days ago, just so you know.
Huh?
What are we talking about? How you feel bad watching me berate you for stuttering?
Yes. And just fucking enduring it right now. Well, not now, but before. You're not helping, you're just making it worse.
That's not true. I think that the problem is for both of us, but definitely also for you. As in this conversation, you put yourself in a role. It's not that
This is Max's editing on the original video. So this part, by the way, this was not edited by Old Man Landre. This was from the original video.
Fuck you.
I don't want to be filmed. You're filming me when I'm having PTSD episodes. I'm having PTSD episodes because you're filming me all the time and I don't know when we're getting filmed. I don't want to be involved in this progress anymore. Mr. Girl's response, fuck you. On video, he chose to post this to his own blog. How much can be said about this? Huh?
That or like, why are you so abusive? Just be yourself.
I never said that.
Maybe you should.
No, you would get too mad. I'm still doing it. Sorry.
Your fake jokey shit isn't funny. You are genuinely funny sometimes, but when the camera's on, you're just like uber cringe. Let's go. Okay, new rule. If you don't want to talk to me, shut up.
I don't want to.
Then stop talking to me. Shaylin.
What?
Got it working?
Yes, thank you.
Okie dokie.
Stop.
Filming?
Yes.
Really? I know you want me to feel guilty. I don't think guilt is that useful.
No. Yeet skadeet. No, fucking no. If you ask that sort of shit again, I will ban you. That is you get one fucking, no, you know what? Fuck it. I'm sorry. You gotta get a ban for that. No. Obviously fucking no. Are you fucking serious? Bam.
I hit you.
Oh, okay then. That's fine.
It hurt you. Oops. I grabbed her wrist. She screamed for me to stop. And then, after that first time, a few weeks later, I grabbed her arms because she wasn't listening to me or something. And I grabbed them really hard, and afterwards she showed me bruises on her arms. A little bit after that, I just said, okay, that was so loud that the neighbors are gonna call the cops. And before they get here, I need you to put on a long sleeve shirt so they don't see the bruises on your arms, because if they do, I'm gonna spend the night in jail, 100%. And one thing people don't talk about a lot is that a violent outburst like that can be a unifying event for a couple. One time I broke my ex's laptop, and you get to sort of join forces against the you that just snapped, and you're like, whoa, that was crazy. Wow, I really went insane there. Wow, we're on a team against that evil part of me. And then you get to apologize, and apologizing is fun. And I'll never forget my ex looking at me and calmly saying to me, why are you punching me in the face? It was a good question. I'll add, for the sake of honesty, I did punch her in the face. So in my case, hitting women over the next several years from that point on, when I first came out as an abusive piece of shit woman batterer to my family, I told my father, listen, every time we come visit you, we end up getting into some physical altercation at your house after you go to sleep. When we go back to our room, we're basically fist fighting for like an hour every time we come visit you, because you're so demeaning to me, and you mock me, and you treat me like a fucking loser in front of her, and she doesn't want to see me that way, and I don't want her to see me that way, and I don't stand up to you. And
so this down here, this is a really big red flag. This recurring theme, which I do think is a good note, by the way. This is a good note. A recurring theme with MrGirl. It's never really his fault. This is something that happens very frequently in abusive situations, is they go, well, when you put me in this situation, I have no choice but to hit you. I have no choice but to beat you. In this case, he's saying when his dad is mean to him, that it makes him beat his ex-wife. That's what he's saying here. He's saying that it's his abusive dad, which I don't doubt he has an abusive dad, but he's saying here that his abusive dad is the reason that he has to beat his wife. Heem God says, the first weekend this guy appeared on the scene, I watched one of his videos yelling at her and had all of these concerns. It's weird to me how it's been brushed to the side. Hi, by the way. Hey, Heemed, huge respect for you never jumping on the train. By the way, let me just take a fucking moment. Let me take a moment real quick. Heemed, based of you to not have jumped on the MrGirl train. You are one of a few people in your general circle who actually have the courage to have principles and have beliefs, and it's one of the reasons specifically why I've always respected you more than most of your peers in that circle. Because you actually give a shit. And you're willing to say no where other people will just go along with the crowd. So I do appreciate that, by the way. Oh, and the God Mama parody, which was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's humiliating, and it makes me hate her because she's watching it. So I need you to stop doing that. Eventually I realized, like, I basically have to choose. So I left my family. Now, the relationship fell apart later anyways, but I had to leave. Because I could see what kind of person it was turned.
So this looks, is this a restraining order? Is that what this is? This is too blurry. I don't know what this is. No, this is a dissolution of marriage. Okay, so he posted, looks like he posted his, in this video, he posted his divorce filing. Okay, so this was his divorce filing.
Me into. It's a complicated problem because if you're at the point where you're being violent with the person who you supposedly love the most, it probably means that your whole life is fucked up. Step 4, fuck your guilt. I know you want me to feel guilty. I don't think guilt is that useful, obviously.
Oh, she filed for divorce. Oh, she filed for divorce against him. I see. Okay, that makes sense.
I just don't think you have as much control over yourself as most people seem to think they do. And I think that it takes two to tango. It's usually part of a complex dynamic that both people are feeding into. It's too complicated to blame on just one person or assign the fault to just one person. I will also add that one thing that confounds all of this is that I have definitely noticed some arousal in women after being...
By the way, just so that you know, people saying it's complex, that it's mutually abusive, that there's no way you can tell who's at fault, that is a very common abuser tactic because there is some truth in it. This is the one thing that you're going to notice is that a lot of abusers, but specifically MrGirl, relies on plausible deniability. See, if it's just complicated, which it's true, relationships are complicated, and oftentimes people do hurt each other in relationships. There are tons of relationships where both people are very bad to one another. That's a real thing. But that doesn't mean that it excuses all behavior. It doesn't mean that you can't find the truth. It just means that sometimes the truth is that it is fucked up. But it's interesting how at every single juncture, there is an injection of plausible deniability at every single step along the way.
Being violent towards them, it makes it pretty hard to break the cycle.
I don't want to deal with all your anger at previous men you've known, although you are definitely going to have to deal with all my anger at previous women I've known, but you don't have to deal with it like right away.
Hi horses. So, why is it okay to hate women? Well, hate is an emotion, and I don't think emotions can be controlled. People always say, oh, don't you have a mother? Well, yes, I have a mother, and 2 stepmothers, and they're all heartless vipers who cut my balls off when I was 13. I just think maybe if I'd been allowed to express myself openly, I wouldn't have a black ocean of vitriol towards women festering in my heart. That's not how it went. Oh, but you can't ever hit them. But they can hit you. Yeah. And then he listens to me, by which I mean he agrees with me. Okay. And he's taller and sexier than me. Oh, you're just mad because you can't get laid. No one would ever fuck you, MrGirl. At this point, I don't know if I hate women because I'm gay or if I'm gay because I hate women.
Women. Can't live with them? Can't kill them.
But honestly, all this shit wouldn't be...
By the way, the music is added, but the sound effects, as far as I can tell, are from the... Yeah, these are his sound effects. Yeah, I've seen one of his videos before, and he uses sound effects like that.
That bad if you
Those
could
are his
actually
sound
take
effects.
feedback. Then we could talk about it. Maybe if you stop playing the fucking victim all the time and start thinking of men as human beings, I'll hate you just a teeny, tiny bit less.
My attraction to my cats is probably very much less tinged with sexuality, but not free of sexuality.
So, this is a little unclear. This is showing a former account.
Much less tinged.
So what this is doing I feel like this is a little hard to read what's going on, but just so that it's clear for everyone. This is his former account, okay? Here's a screenshot of his former account up a post in 2012. Hey guys, I moved to LA to become a screenwriter. The content of my scripts is similar to my blog. You can follow me here, at Max Carson. So now we see this is the same account that became Max Carson, aka MrGirl. I tried to get my cat to pleasure me when I was 13, and then he has a blog about it.
That my attraction to my cats is probably very much less tinged with sexuality, but not free of sexuality.
Okay, if I were to ask you if you've ever had an attraction to an underage person, would you answer that question if I asked you?
The answer is yes. What is a pedophile? How could you ballpark explain that to us?
Preference.
Dominant preference. They're saying if I could have any woman in the world, I would have a 5-year-old.
That's
any female.
Nope.
Any female.
No, that's a different question.
That's not a preference?
It's a preference for a different thing. It's instead of a preference for, somebody who's attracted to 12-year-olds, it's not, I want a 12-year-old, it's I want to masturbate about 12-year-olds.
Thinking about molesting children is okay. I don't see how a thought can be immoral.
Let's just pause that again. Another one where this could have used a bit longer on the screen. It's very hard to read this. Also, if you're ever going to do a screenshot like this, please provide more context. Or at least a link to an archive of this. I'm going to assume in good faith that this is a real screenshot, but we know it's easy to fake them, so please be careful. This says, meanwhile, this is a BX Bullet TV is a conservative Twitch streamer who says, today I woke up and turned on my computer to see a pedophilia awareness stream on Twitch with 1,100 viewers. This is referring to, if I'm not mistaken, the conversation between Destiny and MrGirl. Then MrGirl retweeted this saying, meanwhile, I'm here in my giant house crying and wiping my tears with the undies of the kids that you wish that you could fuck. Ha 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 ha. Very funny joke.
I had a...
I read last MTB says no, it was the conversation about POCD. BX Bullet was misleading. POCD? What's POCD? I don't know what that is. If we can confirm what that was, I would like to know what that was being referred to as, or which stream that was referring to. I would like to see that if possible. Regardless, unhinged way to react. Extremely unhinged way to react.
With someone I knew. Who...
Just, if you're going to admit to any crimes, I would really rather not be listed in whatever federal reports are filed, so I would prefer it be done to video on your stream, unrelated to my own.
Okay. Do you think owning child porn should be a crime?
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at child pornography? I need you to answer the question honestly, or leave. Yeah.
Okay, so I should just leave.
Yeah. Have you ever looked at child pornography?
I don't think I have.
I don't think he's gonna indulge that.
Billy hasn't.
Jimmy,
I know I haven't. Personally speaking.
Jimmy is having a fit in the editing room right now.
I wish we could talk because you are literally the definition of the exact thing that I'm talking
thing you
about.
like to mock. Yeah, exactly.
You would be a
perfect.
What we're doing right
this
now.
is why you've threatened to leave 3 times. It hasn't worked. I've called your bluff each time, and now you're lingering. You don't know what to do.
I'm not.
You want to be here.
I'm not
you know
threatening.
You do. And you're hoping to
I'm not threatening
that it's
you.
our
I'm
confusion.
threatening
We
them.
know exactly what's happened.
I mean, based of the drunken peasants guys to not deal with this shit. based of them at least being like, hey, fucking answer or get off the stream. Based of them for being like, no, we're not going to give you more time if you don't fucking answer this question.
Ben knows exactly what's happening.
Ben, I need you to muzzle your dog or I have to go. Are we done? Well, thank you for the time that we had.
It was a great interview.
Here's a thought experiment. I'm gonna open a string of strip clubs in Las Vegas. And it's gonna be called MrGirl's Whatever You Want Emporium. Okay? In one strip club, the strippers are 25, 24, 23, 22, all the way down to infants. Okay, so if you want to watch babies crawl around, or you want to watch 100-year-olds, we'll start at 100. So basically everybody, and everybody on all the women on the planet have to work here. You know a lot of people. You talk to a lot of people about this. And we all.
You know, I haven't talked to a lot of people about this specifically. I'm going to.
Okay, well, we run in different circles, but. Which club is the most popular?
I don't even know by what category you would distinguish into that group.
Okay, but you don't want to say the number.
I don't have a number. Do you have a number? Is there a number you're looking for?
I think it's 15.
Well, I suppose we'll leave it to the historians to judge.
I feel bad about myself for being attracted to younger women, but I'm not attracted to their fucking brains. Attracted to the fact that they haven't had a chance to ruin their fucking bodies yet. You know.
By the way, this right here is why people say purity culture is super pedophilic, by the way. This is why people say purity culture is super pedophilic, because it is. Because it fucking is.
I just want a 35-year-old brain in a 15-year-old body.
Maybe 16. It might be. I think it would be 14 at first, and then it would move up once the novelty wore off. I think it would be 15 or 16.
Is this consideration in line with your desire to empathize with pedophiles, or is it something more personal than that?
I just want a 15-year-old body. I feel bad about myself for being attracted to younger women.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, you sound like a pedophile, not a person who wants to promote empathy for socially misaligned people.
I feel bad about myself for being attracted to younger women.
Why do I sound like a pedophile?
Because you're dedicating a considerable amount of thought to the subject of what type of underage girl people would be most interested in.
What color, if you had to guess what color their underwear would be, Vlash, what would you say?
Yeah.
Now, real quick, I watched that debate live, and I think maybe we might even watch it here together after this, just because, I don't know, king shit from Vosh there. Straight up. King shit. King shit from Vosh for calling out that this guy is just doing nose-tipping pedophilia apologia, genuine child abuse apologia, that he's playing games and pussyfooting around the issue and refuses to answer things directly at all and just wants to make jokes about having sex with and sexually accosting young women. Based of Vosh to call it there and to say this is not worth it. This is not content. This is not something I want my channel to be associated with. Seriously. And you all can tell, you all can say to the ends of the earth, I've said this before, but since everybody's talking about it now, you can go tell fucking Vosh if you wanna. That was fucking king shit. He's one of the only people in this space who's actually taken a responsible approach to MrGirl, which was, I'm not talking to this weird fuck anymore. It is a line in the sand. And it shows where other people fell. Notice that immediately after that, who was rushing to get MrGirl on? Out of spite. Who enabled this guy to get thousands and thousands of new viewers, thousands of viewers who he is telling, yeah, it's okay, it's more or less okay to abuse your partner as long as you work it out in the end? quote unquote, because it can be a leading moment. A guy who talks about how he thinks that it's totally normal and okay and healthy to be attracted to 15-year-olds. Anyway, based of Vosh for being the one to make that call, because I completely understand why you wouldn't, because it's fucking arguing with a freak like MrGirl is it can be good content. Well, unfortunately, Chud Logic just caught a 3-day ban for platforming MrGirl, as far as I can tell. I don't know. I gotta have a conversation with Chud Logic. I don't know why Chud Logic has given so much space to MrGirl. I heard that was probably why. People said that he was watching a MrGirl clip on his stream. Also, he put out a video very recently that was a conversation with MrGirl. We can even watch it if you want to. I was watching some of it last night. It's pretty fucked up. Well, we can look at it. Anyway, let's continue. We gotta finish this video first. Okay, true, Old Man Landre. A perceived monetary influx. It's not even a real monetary influx. I've talked about this. We'll talk about it again afterwards, but yeah. Oh, that was only on YouTube. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Have fun with this. Huge, huge, huge trigger warning here.
Nude modeling is sexual after all. February 15th, 2011, by Max Carson. As you all know, I am an exhibition.
This is a voice-to-text reading of an article that he wrote in 2011. That's, as far as I know, still up on the internet.
I am also creative and like meeting other creative people. I also usually get paid, so modeling satisfies several different needs for me. One of them is purely sexual. Art schools are overwhelmingly against male models getting erections, and those who do are usually fired. Fuck you.
Ryoma, are you going to mention Stardust's insane defense of MrGirl and calling for his unbanning? Sure, I'll mention it right now. Stardust is an absolute cringe-lord who hangs out with some of the stupidest people on the internet, is rapidly firing into a garbage bin of a career, and has no fucking principles whatsoever. The conversation that Stardust had with Merrick, by the way, Merrick and Merrick, you guys, you want to listen? Actually, you want to know what would be an interesting conversation? We should listen to Stardust and Merrick's argument about MrGirl, in which Merrick absolutely fucking cleans the floor with Stardust, and it's no contest, as in Stardust is just totally out of her depth and gets clapped by Merrick. We could do that. That would actually be a better watch. Maybe we'll watch that one, because I don't think anybody's seen that one. And it's a good one. It's from a while ago, and it's still real good. We'll think about it. Let's keep going.
What kind of sex blogger kills his erections? What kind of person kills his erections? I made a vow right there. I will never attempt to prevent myself from getting an erection for the rest of my life. If I get kicked off of model stands, or make people uncomfortable at dinner parties, or freak doctors and therapeutic massage therapists out, then so be it. No more hiding. Once I was posing nude for a group of high school kids.
High school kids? What kind of high school is this?
I pose for kids 15 to 18 pretty regularly.
Nude modeling is sexual. Yeah, drawing naked people is inherently sexual.
This is a post from Reddit where he says, I'm intensely attracted to children right after their 12th birthday. Before that, nothing. Good thing I'm not a sick pedophile. Now, I know for a fact this one's a little bit out of context and that he was trying to make fun of like a phebophile guy, but in context with everything else we know, this does not fly well. And it just further, by the way, it further solidifies my argument that there is functionally no difference between somebody who constantly pretends to be an edgy pedophile versus an actual fucking pedophile. There's no difference. There's functionally no difference in the way that those platforms exist. If your platform is devoted to making arguments that pedophiles would make, then you're just a pedophile as far as the internet is concerned.
Average most desirable age is 14.
You may overstate how many people are going to find the children in this movie hot. Like,
I don't think so. I think they're objectively hot.
if you're...
This is another thing. This is another thing that Mr. Girl does that I personally, even though I've not watched very much of his content outside of what I've done for research, I've seen him doing this multiple times. As a way of, again, sort of de-incriminating himself, he claims that everyone thinks this, but they don't. No, actually, the vast majority of people do not think that way. And even if they did, that wouldn't make it right to advocate in favor of child abuse or to downplay the impact of child abuse. It doesn't matter whether or not people find this, but notice how he uses it to make it seem like he's normal. This is literally normalizing pedophilia. That is definitionally normalizing pedophilia. This guy uses a huge platform to normalize and downplay pedophilia and the effects of child molestation. We're going to see more of that. Let's keep going. Again, I wasn't lying when I said there's a reason why I think this video should be watched.
Your, say your son is 12, and he's like, you're like, oh, there's gonna be these group of girls at this like a function that we're going to, and he says like, oh, are they hot? I think most people, if they saw the girls and then they're like had a socially acceptable reason to say yes, they'd be like, well, yeah.
Okay. Because I don't really. We have a difference of opinion, but I think that's where it's coming from.
No, I don't think we have a difference of opinion. Okay. I think that you are now claiming that you are unable to determine attractiveness in 12-year-old humans. Okay, when you were 12, could you tell whether a 12-year-old was hot?
Yeah.
And you could,
yeah.
And you could feel it.
Yes.
Okay, you're saying that your innate physiological radar for whether someone is sexually attractive has been decommissioned and no longer functions?
Like I can intellectualize it, I don't feel that anymore.
You're claiming that when you see a 12-year-old twerking, just as I can tell you which 90-year-olds are hotter than other 90-year-olds, I can still tell you which one I would rather fuck. I mean, can you tell which ones are...
Do you see what's going on? This isn't just somebody talking about difficult issues. You guys remember when I did that? Do you guys remember when I did that video about prostasia and the prostasia like controversy? Do you guys all remember that? This was a couple of months ago. There was a big video put out that argued that there was a pedophile organization doing shit on the internet, and we went and looked into it. And as it turns out, I don't think I don't think that there's any evidence that this is like a pro-pedophile organization. In fact, everything that we found seemed to show that this was an organization that was very, very devoted to ensuring that people don't offend, and instead getting people who have like pedophilic attraction to go and get therapists. That was the entire purpose of this organization. Were there things the organization was doing imperfectly? Yes. But the argument that this was like a pro-pedophilia organization was simply not true. And it's interesting because that is an organization that is asking tough questions and gets accused of being pedophiles because they are asking tough questions. For example, how do you help a pedophile not hurt somebody? That's a very difficult, very, very touchy, extremely controversial question. They're an organization that's doing something like that. Mr. Girl goes on the internet and makes a coy little winking hypotheticals where he can talk about himself being aroused about children. I'm not kidding you. That's what we've seen over and over and over again. He uses these platforms as an excuse to engage in essentially public fantasizing. He literally said he was an exhibitionist. Yeah, that's why I'm saying increasingly it seems like he uses this cover of just asking questions, much like Nazis do, that he uses this cover of just asking questions to get away with basically exhibiting his own extremely, extremely problematic kink. Fetish, whatever you want to call it. That, and I recognize that he claims that he has never offended, but I'm sorry, given the way that he talks about that, I completely understand why nobody should believe him about that. He's clearly not an honest actor. He clearly talks about acting on other things, but he conveniently avoids ever admitting any of this. So... yeah, parasexual interest. Whatever you want to call it, I don't really care about the terminology. I think you all get what I'm fucking saying. I think, please, let's not use kink. Okay, I don't care. Okay? I don't care what terminology you want to use. He claims he's non-offending. I don't really care. Don't nitpick the fuck out of this, because what I'm trying to focus on is that even if he claims it's just feelings, it's very clear that he's going out of his way to get in situations where he can talk about these incredibly, incredibly disgusting situations, these situations that are hypotheticals about children being harmed on a giant platform, and then he downplays the harm. It does not matter what word you want to use. Let's go.
More cute. I guess that's why I said this in the review. I think cute is a stand-in for sexually attractive. I don't think there's really a difference. Face the fact that you can be attracted to 12-year-olds, but I'm like, I already knew that, so that's not surprising to me.
But what is surprising to you is that may be a more unique to you experience than you originally thought, whereas you think every human experiences that. Maybe that isn't the case.
No, that's not. I mean, it's not surprising to me because I don't think it's true. You can tell when a 12-year-old is hot, and then so like I think we should just move.
Notice again, I don't think that he genuinely believes that everyone feels like this. I think he wants to make the argument that everyone feels like this so that he has cover. It's old school projection. Old school projection.
Move on.
Okay, everybody. Again, warning, this shit gets pretty fucked up. Just be ready. This shit is really fucked up.
It was January 2015. My marriage was well into falling apart. I went to the UCLA clinic where they train therapists because you can get pretty cheap therapy there. I went for my intake interview. She was doing my intake interview and was asking me what kind of therapist I wanted. And I said, you need to, whoever you would give Hannibal Lecter to, if he were to come in looking for therapy, you need to give me to that person. Because otherwise this isn't gonna go well. And she was like, okay, so I'm and this just like undercurrent of like extraordinary discomfort masked with like a thin veneer of professionalism that I encounter a lot in my life. She assigned me to the director of the program. And the next week I came back and I said, it's okay to keep going to you for therapy as long as you don't continuously try to reschedule or try to sleep with me. And she was like, I am not going to try to sleep with you. And I was like, that's great. And she was like, Max, I am not going to try to sleep with you. And I was like, okay, great. And she was like, Max, I am not going to try to sleep with you. And I was like, and then at the end, she looked at the clock. She was like, our time is up and the session is over. So I leave. And then the following Wednesday, I get a phone call from her. And she says, Max, I'm not going to be able to continue working with you. Yeah, it's not working out, but you can be reassigned to another therapist if you call the office or email. And I was like, okay, like I wasn't. I'm always kind of shocked, like intellectually, by how people like respond to me, but like it's happened enough that I'm just kind of like, yeah, like you know, of course. I guess I knew when I asked for the Hannibal Lecter treatment that like I might be too much, and
That's the time I got kicked out of the UCLA psychology clinic. But I'm not surprised. I've had this is just a little slice of it's a pattern. You know, I go on dates, people leave after 20 minutes sometimes. Women leave. I hook up with guys sometimes. I don't really call it dates, but I go on dates with women and they leave after like 20 minutes in total discomfort. But it's not just terror, because when someone scares you, you just like get away from them, but it's a sexual terror.
Discussed by Max Carson, published February 1st, 2011.
So in this section, we're going to see a number of references to, well, let's just keep going. I'm telling you right now, it's going to get very graphic. This is the part that gets most graphic. Just keep that in mind.
2011, Hannah and I are texting. She asks me how I'm doing. I answer briefly and change the subject. Me, a few years ago I found a Yahoo group about extremely cruel handjobs and guys tying each other up and forcing each other to come when they don't want to. Me, link, groups.yahoo.com/group/gay force milking. Hannah, what made you think of that? Me, the page was open on my phone browser. Hannah, oh, me, I should write. Do you mind if I text you later? Hannah, okay, yeah, that's cool. Me, okay, join that Yahoo group. Hannah, doubtful. Me, why? That upsets me. Me, I'm asking you to share something that turns me on and to try doing it with me. Hannah, you didn't say it turned you on, or say it had any relevance to us. Me, both of those are so unbelievably obvious that I don't believe you didn't know them. My heart is pounding. Me, I think you recoiled and now you are covering your tracks. Please be honest. She is disgusted. I put my phone in my lap. I should write. I'll silence my phone and check it in a few minutes. I don't care if she texts me now. Let her simmer a little. I have to write. I pick up my phone and check it. She hasn't texted me. What the fuck is she doing? Me, you definitely knew it turned me on. That would be absurd if you didn't. Did you feel excluded? Why would I ask you to join it? You sound crazy. I statements. Use I statements. Me, I feel judged or embarrassed. I sleep my phone and put it in my lap. I pick my phone up. Me, and instead of reassuring me or trying to make me feel less upset, you are focused on defending yourself by saying it's my fault I'm upset. Hannah, of course I'll do that with you.
So, again, again, TTS, in the future, have somebody read this shit out, all right? Or read it out yourself. The TTS is impossible. Let me tell you, here, we can literally just, I don't know, it's hard to understand. Let me tell you what's going on. In this exchange, okay? Because I've seen this 2 times, all right? Pay a voice actor. In this section, is MrGirl published a record of a conversation with his ex. And in this conversation, he sort of out of nowhere sends her a link to a very, very explicit, extreme BDSM, consensual non-consent blog. Now, as you know, I don't think that CNC, I think CNC can be dangerous if you're not careful, but I think CNC is like a thing that like people are into and whatever, and can be done responsibly. But many people, understandably, have a strong reaction to the idea of consensual non-consent. And Hannah has a strong reaction. She doesn't know why he's sending this to her, okay? And so she doesn't know why he's sending this to her. And throughout the conversation, he gets increasingly agitated because he thinks that she should have known that he wants to do stuff like that with her. And then he accuses her of being homophobic because she had a strong reaction to it. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, Hannah is the ex. No. Hannah is the ex that we haven't seen. So that's the one who was before the current, yeah, the ex-wife. Yep. Yeah, Shaylin. Shaylin is the one who was in the beginning of the video. Hannah is the one we haven't seen, but who he was with before. Oh, we did see her briefly. Okay, maybe I didn't see that part. Sorry. Let's continue.
I should have asked you to clarify. I run my hands through my hair. It isn't about the fucking cruel handjobs. It's about her disgust with me. Me, why did you just say doubtful? Me, why won't you join the Yahoo group? My face is burning. Me, I'm really upset. Me, I feel like you think it's irritating or gross that it's a gay group, and that's why you don't want to join, and you are now pretending you didn't recoil at the
So here's where he's getting mad at his ex, accusing her of essentially being homophobic as to why she doesn't want to do this thing with him that he's really, really into, but she's clearly not.
Suggestion. I will find her disgust and dig it out. Me.
I will find her disgust and dig it out. So this is him writing on his blog what he says and what he's thinking.
Please, please, please don't lie about your reaction. It will confuse me. Hannah, the phrase extremely cruel freaked me out. Hannah, I am in the middle of a meeting. You fucking bitch. Me, what freaked you out about it? Okay, maybe you shouldn't text me from meetings. Me, I need space to have feelings. If you are in a meeting, then I'm not allowed to get upset. Now I'm just sitting here upset and you don't have time to make me feel better.
Incredible, incredible abuser behavior. If you start having a conversation with your wife while she's at work, and then you send her something that makes her uncomfortable, and then it's about how you're upset, yeah, this is extremely fucked. And remember, he published this to his own fucking websites.
Stop whining. This is not sexy. Me, I'm calming down. Just text me later when you can. I hope you have a good meeting. Way to play it cool. I put the phone down. I pick it back up. Me, I know you are trying to be sweet and that you care about how I'm doing. But please stop asking me to talk about how I feel when you don't have a lot of time to talk. It makes intimacy a lot harder for me. Me, don't give one-word responses to texts about my sexual desires. Don't do that shit if you are in a meeting. Please, I put the phone down. I pick it back up. Nothing. I put it down. I turn the ringer on so I will hear the text alert through my headphones. I open my laptop and look at my screenplay. Why isn't she texting me? Because she's in a meeting. I turn the ringer off. I'll check it later. I look at my screenplay. I check my phone. Nothing. I put it down. Let it go. She'll text you later. You told her to stop texting you, so she did. Now you have to write. I write. I check my phone every 20 minutes for an hour and a half. Finally, I see her name. Hannah. Okay, I want to create space for your feelings. It freaked me out because it sounds like a violation of consent. I mean, obviously not if everyone has joined a group for it, but the word force is scary.
By the way, this is a super reasonable response. Hannah says, okay, I want to create space for your feelings. The link freaked me out because it sounds like a violation of consent. I mean, I guess obviously not if everyone joined a group specifically for it, but the word force is scary to me.
I'm reposting this video about consent in which I semi-admit to...
Big warning now! Big warning, huge CW. This is just a graphic description of MrGirl's former behavior. Just...
technically raping someone because it was taken down 2 months ago. Okay. Well, here's the video. I hope you enjoy it. The public dialogue about rape and consent is spinning off into wild, bizarre directions. People are trying to get a handle on what's going on, but for some reason they want to do it with very simple ideas and catchphrases. Yeah, that doesn't really work for me. As a rule, I don't have sex with enthusiastic people. Yeah, that's more like it. Yes means yes. Is that always true? Do you really never say no in sexual situations when you really mean yes? Here's a story. A couple years ago...
By the way, this is why I don't really focus as much in this on the pedophilia stuff, because he just openly admits. He openly admits to being a rapist and also then does apologia. As you're going to see, he does apologia.
I matched with a woman on Tinder. We got frozen yogurt, she came over, we got naked, I got naked, then we both got naked. We started making out. Finally, I get her on top of me. I put my dick in place, like right at her vagina, and I'm like, all right, let's do this. She holds perfectly still and says, I'm not ready. Clear as day, no mistaking her meaning, she doesn't consent. But she has this look in her eye, like she's daring me to just push it in. Like I'm some kind of pussy if I don't. I could have been imagining that, but I grabbed her shoulders and pushed her down onto my dick. She liked that I did that? I think so. She probably had mixed feelings about it. Was it rape? Yes! She told me not to and I did it anyway. That makes it rape. Did the cops show up later? No. It's rape. But I don't feel bad about it. Telling college girls to be mindful of what they drink and possibly even what they wear is victim blaming. A college girl should be able to get blackout drunk, wear a short skirt with no underwear, and crawl into a halfway house for sex offenders and not worry about getting raped. Here's where I'm a little confused.
So here is him admitting and then expressing that yes, it was unequivocally rape, and no, he doesn't think it was wrong.
Me this, normies. If you leave your pussy or your dick unprotected and I fucking steal it, how is that my fucking fault? Alright, now that the normies are gone, let's talk about some real shit. All sex has some component that is non-consensual.
No, it doesn't. No, it fucking does not. No, it does not. Nope. No, it doesn't. That is a big fat no, just so that we're 100% clear. No, it doesn't. Notice again the exact same tactic of trying to create plausible deniability for his actions by saying that everything is like this. No, it fucking isn't. No, it isn't. I have never, ever had a situation like that in my entire life. That is not normal. That is not okay. Chud Logic did a 7-hour stream with this creep the other day. Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't know what happened, so.
It just happens, okay? There's always some element of coercion. People are too complicated for it to be a simple yes or no. There's always some part of you that doesn't want to have sex, but you do it anyway. And you aren't going to know if you made the right decision until later. If ever. If there even is a right decision. And this makes sex and rape a lot more complicated. Rape isn't like murder. Most people don't want to get shot over the contents of their wallet and dumped in a trash can. Am I saying that rape victims want it on some level? Unfortunately, yes. And that's probably the reason rape is so psychologically destructive to people, because some part of you does want it. And here's the other thing about consent. It's pretty boring. Okay, yeah, there's some porn out there that's...
This is the part right here that I think is probably the most problematic, like the most explicitly terrible thing that's said in this entire video.
A little more interesting. But generally, it's boring and needs a lot less consent and a lot more rapiness. All my favorite romance scenes in movies are kind of rapey. And also in real life. I'm sorry, it's boring when someone is like, oh, Mr. Girl, you're just the best. Let's have some healthy, totally well thought out,
Yeah, and by the way, again, the sound effects are from his stream. The sound effects and editing is from his stream here. Or from his video. His video.
Not scary sex. I'm just not into that. It's a lot better when it's like, oh, my friends are all so creeped out by you. Rape is human. Rape culture is human culture. And if you can accept that, instead of going into sex thinking, this is totally consensual, I have consented and this other person has consented 100%, you could open your fucking mind a little bit. We demand that women convince themselves they are 100% certain they want to have sex every time they do. All we're doing is telling them to lie to themselves, to simplify their emotions, to bury their pain and confusion even deeper. My shitty parents actually thought they could stop my sexuality from becoming creepy and violent by not letting me watch rape scenes in movies. But all that accomplished was now I feel guilty about my rapey thoughts.
I was not able to process.
Maybe you should. Maybe that is a healthy experience of guilt. People got weird kinks out there. If you like competition, if you like an intense edge experience in your sex, like BDSM, that is not rape. You can work out things very healthily, very consensually, very fun. You should feel guilty about wanting to rape somebody. You should. You should feel guilt about wanting to hurt someone that way. That is a healthy experience of guilt.
That she wasn't interested because I just assumed that she is because I'm me. And so I start kind of chasing her around her house, not in like a fast aggressive way, but slowly, like
like, and she's giving me like excuses, like, well, we're coworkers, or like, I'm not sure. Like, she's like, she's like, are you sure you want to, like, don't you want to, and then it's like, well, I don't want to mess up our friendship. And I'm like, well, everything you're saying is making me more excited. Because she's like, I'm horrified by this. And I'm like, of course you are. That's normal. Come here. And then so I chase her around her house. And she's also comically crawling backwards, like over her couch. Like, it feels like a game. And then after probably
12 hours of wearing her down,
the sun comes up. No.
I'm glad Destiny's having a fun time there. Glad Destiny's there laughing along. But I mean, we all know Destiny's approach to topics about rape. We all know his opinions on that.
After it felt like a long time. Probably in reality, it was probably like 5 minutes. But like, which is a pretty long time to chase someone in circles around their living room. Looking back. I finally was like, wait, do you not want me to kiss you?
We're gonna talk about that, Fab Jenny.
And she was like, no, I don't want you to kiss me. And I was like, why didn't you just fucking say that? And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, oh. And we were like friendly after that. And then afterward, like, I couldn't understand what happened. Like, like, she rejected me.
What do you mean?
I guess I just thought, like, they say no at first to see if it's okay with you that they're saying no. And I would say, on dating sites especially, they still...
I don't know, Northside. I haven't seen that Zan video.
Are doing, like, what I did. So, date from Tinder.
Raping them. I'm sorry.
Raping women. Yeah.
Then I go ahead.
You know, if you date from Tinder, and
Very
she
funny.
says I'm not ready, but she's on top of you, physiologically feels ready, and seems ready, and is just holding herself on top of you, and you're at the entrance, and nothing else is happening, and she's just staring at you for 5 seconds, giving you the look of all looks, and then you push her down. I would say that is a similarly advanced maneuver. It's technically a rape, even though I don't think I raped her. Yeah.
Okay, so there are hard lines for how far I'd be willing to go with some things that make them vastly different.
Yeah, if Shaylin comes up behind me and sticks her finger in my butt, like.
Don't you feel like any broadcaster should have the responsibility to push back at this particular point, unless you actively support? Not pushing back here is implicitly granting credence to his statements. And let's just be real. I don't think Destiny's pushing back real hard.
I'm not. It's right. That's just part of relationships, is being more transgressive of boundaries, and like, that's kind of fun. Okay, so when someone states a boundary about sex, that's not their actual boundary. And if you say no to something, it might not actually mean no.
Do you remember what we saw in his videos with Shaylin? So here he is being edgy about consent, but we also saw in his earlier vlogs that he clearly doesn't respect Shaylin's boundaries either, or his ex-wife's boundaries. As it turns out, it seems like none of this is edge. It seems like none of this is anything but essentially rape apologia on a huge platform. Do you have a clip of that? Old Man Landre, if you give me that clip, I would love that fucking clip. Old Man Landre, I need that fucking clip right now. If you get me that clip, I will play it.
Like in the case of the Tinder woman, I may or may not have sexually assaulted, or maybe it was a no and I raped her. Like, she said yes and no at the same time, was my perception. So I guess
Then you fucking stop. If somebody says yes and no at the same time, you fucking stop.
I think every sex act is a dice roll to some degree.
Okay.
And that
we're at some point we're gonna have to have a.
So, let's give some advice.
Okay.
Right? Because we've got some less experienced folks watching.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's give some advice. Let's not. Let's not. Let's not have the guy who just did open pro-rape arguments, open rape apologia. Let's not give that guy advice. Notice how he talks about how he knows that there are impressionable, young, inexperienced people. He's specifically targeting them. Do you understand? Do you understand what's coming together here?
I think sex is always a bit horrific to some degree, sometimes to a small degree, but usually somebody looks upset or feels upset or is confused or scared or sad, and that, to me, that's been my experience of I think all sex I've ever had.
Jesus. Okay.
Like, I've had sex with women and had them just like burst into tears afterward or during.
Do you think that your experience with sex is more the norm, or do you think it's a little bit off the norm?
I'm saying I think it's the norm.
Well, yeah, well, no, so, yeah, let me be clear, just because maybe you answered it how you intended to, but I'm asking your experience with sex, that all...
Mason from YouTube chat says, hey, MrGirl fan here. I feel like this video is somewhat unfair to him without viewing his content in the greater context. You should talk to him through DM. You should talk to him, though, Demon Mama. I feel like it would be a stimulating conversation. No, I will never, ever, ever give my platform to this motherfucker. There is no chance, not a snowball's chance in hell. And by the way, I've seen enough of his freestanding content to know, and you can go look these all up for yourself, despite agreeing that I do think that some of the editing choices are, they detract from the believability of the message. I know these clips. I saw some of these clips live myself. No. And I have some statements to be making at the end, so stick around.
All of it is, like, pretty horrific. Do you think that engagement is, like...
Nuts says, isn't the point of a safe word in a CNC situation because no doesn't declare consent being revoked? Please, I'm literally asking a real question. Yes, in a CNC situation, other words besides no will be used. But we're not talking about CNC at all. We're not talking about kink. We're not even in that ballpark. We're not even in the same galaxy. Yes, there are scenes of extreme BDSM where no is not the safe word. And that's because somebody has a fantasy, problematic or not, that they want to work out in a healthy way. That's a good thing. But we're not talking about a CNC situation. We're talking about a guy just openly violating the consent of people that he met on Tinder. And he talks about this openly on the internet all the time.
More the norm or a little bit off the norm? Do you think
I think it's all, there's some degree.
Nope, hold on. We're not doing those answers right now.
Oh, yeah.
Not some degree. I'm saying that the degree of trauma that you experience, do you think that that is more the norm or not the norm? Like, what is that your perception for the majority of people that have sex?
Right, so I'm saying either there's more horror or I'm more attuned to it. My guess is that I'm more attuned to it and that it is the norm. That is what I think. The same thing with pedophilia. And also as a listener, if you have sex with somebody and
no pushback, no pushback.
They burst into tears or freak out afterwards. That doesn't necessarily mean that something went horribly wrong. The murkiness comes when somebody says no. Sometimes being excessively respectful of no is boring.
There's a lot of things I could do. A lot of people drive home drunk and they make it home just fine. Most people do. But that doesn't mean it was a good thing, right?
There is a time I was wrong.
Okay. Do you wanna? Is this the last stream you're doing?
Nope. Nope, and not even the last stream with Destiny, interestingly.
No. I'm just getting started, baby.
Smug black women irritate me when they talk about politics. Oh, MrGirl, you're just saying smug people irritate you. No, I didn't say smug people irritate me. Smug black women irritate me. Black men make me more uncomfortable than annoy me. But if you hear them talk and they start talking about anime or they sound like white or something, then it's a relief.
Come on, guys, come on.
One time I was at the grocery store and there's a group of black kids, like 17 something, behind me, and they were all saying the N-word a lot. This
Oh,
was, like,
thank you,
a year
Metroplex.
ago.
I appreciate that. We may need
And
that.
they were like, "Oh, look out, we're scaring him." And I like looked at them and I was like, of course I'm not scared, but I was scared. Latinos who haven't really assimilated are weird to me in a way that bothers me. The music, it just all sounds the same to me. Like, it's just like a tuba. And the singers all sound the same. I don't like it.
Boring, unfunny racism. Just boring, unfunny racism.
Muslims are just too religious. Just on average, they're all too religious. It's like you're gonna wear a hijab every day. That's something that bothers me about Asians. They think that you want to be one. They think everybody secretly wants to be like Chinese or Japanese or whatever.
Are these? I don't understand what happens if you match with these Chinese people. Are they like in a shipping container somewhere, and then like another Chinese person lets them off of a leash, and then they bring them to you?
The campus paper for Colorado University has sparked some controversy. The article, written by student Max Carson, details his hate for Asians and poses that they be subjected to phases of absurd tasks. For example, Phase 1 suggested catching Asians with large butterfly nets and dragging them into apartments for further phases, which include forced binge drinking, useless games, and house redecorating, as some sort of cultural washing and indoctrination into white American culture.
Students returned to class after Max Carson's arrest. By Vanessa Miller for the Daily Camera. August 14, 2009. Most of Max Carson's classmates in a women's studies course at the University of Colorado reconvened Thursday. 2 days after the junior was jailed for comments about being angry enough to kill. But where Carson would have sat, there was an empty seat. And there was an officer in the room, police said. One detective was there in case there were questions. CU Police CMDR. Brad Weasley said. They had a brief discussion, and that was helpful for everyone. Carson was arrested Tuesday on suspicion of interference with staff, faculty, and students of an educational institution after he commented during a heated classroom discussion about the Virginia Tech massacre that he was angry enough to kill his classmates. A police report said he left the Boulder County Jail on a personal recognizance bond Wednesday, and he's been suspended from the university until a judicial affairs review of his case is complete. Carson's father said his son, who circulates an underground publication called The Yeti on the campus, never directly threatened any students and wouldn't harm anyone. But Weasley said Carson's intentions don't matter because students felt threatened and said they were afraid to come to class. His words were taken as a threat of force or violence. And people said, "I'm not coming to class. I'm scared," Weasley said. So that impeded their education. Among Carson's controversial comments Tuesday, Weasley said, was one that directly answered another student's question of, "Are you going to do something Thursday?" He said, "Well, not necessarily this Thursday." Weasley said, "Do you take a chance on coming back to class?" With Carson banned from the campus, most of the students were back in their seats Thursday. And a class field trip in Denver this weekend should happen as planned. Weasley said, "We went from most people not coming to most people showing up," he said. "Now they can get the education they came here for, and that's a good thing." Students have been debating Carson's punishment on the social networking site Facebook.com. "A national tragedy shouldn't take away anyone's rights," one person wrote. CNN television personality Nancy Grace weighed in on the Carson case Thursday night, after introducing Carson as a CU student who says he sympathized with the VTech killer. Grace asked a woman whose daughter attends the Virginia school what she thought about Carson's statements. "Let's take him 100% seriously and give him zero tolerance," the woman said. "We cannot afford another tragedy like this."
The other most important lesson, well, it's hard for me to number them, but let's say one of the most important lessons I ever learned from you, and I still am, I think I know the lesson, and then I'll walk into a situation and think that's that same lesson, and that is when people show you who they are, believe them.
Yes, absolutely. A person says to you, "I'm selfish," or "I'm mean," or I am unkind.
Or I'm crazy.
Or believe them. They know themselves much better than you do.
I'm
But
Hannibal
no,
Lecter.
More often than not, those of us who don't trust life say, don't say a thing like that. You're not really crazy. You're not really unkind. You're not really mean. And as soon as you say that, the person
lets you know
and shows you, I told you.
You need to get help.
Okay, so let's talk first off before anything else, okay? All right, before we talk about anything else, let me give my full thoughts on the video. Okay, excellent presentation of the evidence. Excellent presentation of the evidence. However, in its current form, I don't really know that I can recommend this video. However, Old Man Landre, if you re-upload a re-edit of this film, or of this video, that has, that cuts out the music, that moves some of the little editorializations, and also, perhaps I mean, I don't know, it's up to you. I personally think that, like, the scary backgrounds take away from the message. This is a video that this is a video with this evidence that I could reference. In its current state, I think a lot of people will write it off as a hit piece because it's so dramatic. I think a lot of people will tune out early on and not see the most important stuff. However, because I was recommended it by a friend, because I was recommended this by a friend, I watched the entire video, and the video is good. I really think that I strongly believe that you should upload a second version of this that doesn't have the editorialization, that just sort of straightforwardly documents each of these things and presents a case. That wouldn't, I don't think it would wreck your YouTube channel. Don't take this one down. Just make a second one. Make one that people like myself can reference, that people like streamers can reference without having it be, I mean, you saw how many inquiries we got. We got a lot of inquiries about various concerns with the presentation. But seriously, if you do that, if you do a video like that, that's a video that I can hold on a document and say, hey, if anybody starts thinking like, what's up with this MrGirl? I can say, watch this video, and it will present it in a good way that doesn't seem as manipulative. Seriously, if you do that, I think it would be very good. I don't think you should take this video down. I think you should just upload a second version and just call it like improved edit or something like that. So, yeah. Yeah, call it a director's cut. Exactly. Which leads us to the next thing. A question from chat. How did we end up with a situation where a large portion of Twitch politics is or was okay with a rape and pedo apologist being a regular on their shows? An interesting question. Well, first of all, in the words of MrGirl, MrGirl thanks Destiny for that, in fact. So that's an interesting one. On MrGirl's Patreon, he thanked Destiny for making it possible for him to have a big platform. So, well, from the words of the man himself, thanks to Destiny. Incredible. So there's a way. And really, that's the way that it is. People providing cover, playing coy games, letting somebody like this hide behind jokes without pushing them further, not drawing lines in the sand, basically being cowardly, spineless motherfuckers who only think about clout and money. That's how we get here. Because the truth is, a lot of people, especially in the Twitch politics space, genuinely have no principles and literally only care about gaining whatever pittance of clout they can get from their little personality cult. I'm not kidding you. We've now seen MrGirl and Lauren Southern, and now even Nick Fuentes being platformed by the people who sort of claim to be and numerically are the largest people in Twitch politics. And that is not okay. None of this is good. This is all actively bad. And people in this space, if they don't want to share a space with a rape advocate, which I am more than comfortable to say that MrGirl is unequivocally a rape advocate. There is no way to interpret his other statements. If you are okay with that being in your space, I am sus of you. I have extreme suspicions of your motivations and your commitment to any sort of value. And we shouldn't tolerate this. This is how you make spaces unsafe. MrGirl is not a safe person to be making content with. MrGirl, first of all, not only is it unsafe to give this guy a platform where he can have access to minors, not only is it unsafe to give this guy clout that he can use to further gather more victims, which we know he has multiple victims already. He's openly admitted to it. He's openly admitted to raping multiple people. This ruins spaces. It makes a space intolerable. Not only that, but it gives a guy directly. People are giving their platform to a guy who statistically, as far as we can tell, or sorry, from his own opinions, as far as we can tell, is not apologetic and will offend again. A guy who is open about his past victimization of other people and unapologetic about it. This is not a complicated issue. This is a disgusting situation that people should absolutely be willing to put their fucking hand down and say, no, this is it. Vosh had the right idea. And you all know for sure I'm never having this motherfucker on here, but I'm gonna go one step further, okay? I'm going one step further, imps. Listen the fuck up. From here on out, I will no longer work or promote any person who collaborates with and does not call out MrGirl in this space. Don't care if you're Twitch Politics, don't care if you're YouTube. We're done. If you are defending and platforming this very, very, very obviously dangerous person, this person who is clear and unapologetic, who engages in apologia for child molestation, for pedophilia, for pedophiles, for child abusers, a guy who does apologia for rape, who does not show any sense of remorse for what he does, who records himself abusing his partner on the internet for money. This guy is abusing his partner for money. And guess what? Even if all of it is an act, the outcome is the same. He's teaching his audience and the audiences that you give him access to do rape apologia, to do pedophilia apologia. And you're gonna fucking associate your brands with that? Not fucking me. Nope, not happening. If I see, I don't care if you're my friend, I don't care if you're my political enemy. We are not fucking collaborating. I am not rating you. I will not shout you out if you're going to support this shit. It's a line in the sand. An absolute line in the sand.